Okay, so let's get started. Go ahead and open Revit, and you're going to see something quite similar to this. And we're going to click under the projects, New. Make sure you have Architecture selected and click New. And then make sure that you pull this down to Architectural Template right here where it says New Project, and make sure it's got Create New Project, and then click the OK button. And as you've seen in the lecture, this opens up this window. You want to center your drawing on the vertical in between these as much as possible. You'll have a chance to go back and move it. It's quite simple to move it once it's created, so don't worry if it's a little off center, okay? So let's look at our measurements here. Okay, we have basically a structure that is 40 feet by 25 feet. Now remember, this is going to be the vertical, this is going to be the horizontal. I just have this positioned on this direction for this to make it easier to see it all on one screen. Okay, so we're just getting walls, doors, and windows in at the moment, and then we'll be adding flooring and things like that as well. So let's start with wall. Okay. And what we're doing is we're going to use the generic 6-inch, but we're going to edit the type a little bit. Top constraint, unconnected, unconnected 20 feet. We're going to change this to where it says 24 feet. Okay? Which changes where level 1 is. Okay? So we're going to have this be, the top constraint is unconnected. Okay, so you're in wall, generic 6-inch, you're going to change this to 24 feet, and then you're going to change this to finish face exterior where it says location line. And that basically just gives you the place where you're going to measure that to, okay? So we're going to start approximately a little off center right around here, okay? And we're going to click and pull to the right and make sure this is going where it says horizontal, and type in 25, enter. Now pull up, make sure you've got that angle showing at 90 degrees, and type in 40, enter. Pull left, 25, enter. Don't enter your foot mark. 40, enter. Okay? Now hit escape. You may have to hit escape twice, but don't let that to get out of the wall command, okay? All right, so unfortunately, finish face exterior didn't quite work out the way we wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on one of the horizontal walls first. And then I want you to click on this little button right here, which moves the witness line. The witness line is the line that tells us where the measurement is. Okay, and we're going to change that from 41 to 40. Just type it in. And it's going to move the wall that you had selected. So now when you select it, it shows 40 feet. I want you to go up here and click on this button for thin lines, which allows the lines to be a lot thinner. All right, now we're going to click on one of these walls. It doesn't matter which one at this point because everything's balanced and the same. All right, now we're going to click and move those witness lines to the outside, okay? So click on a wall, make sure your witness lines are going all the way to the outside. It's sort of a temporary dimension. 25 is what you're going to type in when you click in there. Okay, and just to be clear, when you click on this, you got to click, first select this, get your witness lines in place, and then click here. And then you can change that measurement. Okay, and as we noted in lecture, Revit defaults to feet. Okay, so let's move this, sort of center it. You're just going to select it and then you can drag it. Okay? There's also the modify move command, which you modify, move, select, right click, finish selection, or you can click the enter button or the space button and then you just kind of move it. So either way, you want to just get it, doesn't have to be perfectly centered, just get it close. Okay? Again, if you want to drag it, just select it all, make that window around it. And then when the little iron cross sort of icon comes up, you can then move it. All right, Now what we want to do is go ahead and check, make sure our walls are pretty high. And one of the ways that we can do that is some of the views that are already created here by looking in the project browser. So let's look at the north elevation view. Okay. Here's an issue. When we open this up, unfortunately it's giving us level 2 at 10 feet. We don't want that. So I want to click on this to change the level. This is important. We're going to change where it says level 2 to 12 feet. Okay, and that's going to evenly space our floors. We're going to have higher ceilings, bottom and top. Okay, interestingly, when you go ahead and click on the east elevation, now they're all set. 0 feet, 12 feet, etc. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close the elevation view in our project browser. Okay, and then we can also look at it by going to the default 3D view. And you can see these are pretty tall walls. It's hard to tell because we don't have anything in place yet for our second floor, but we're going to go ahead and close that. That's our default exterior view. All right. Now, so we actually we're on level 1. Make sure you've got level 1 under floor plan selected throughout this. That's the default when you open up Revit, but we want to make sure that level 1 is selected. We're going to be dealing with level 2 later, but right now, level 1. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. We've got a wall that is 7'6", and it's going to start at 13'8". This part. Okay, so this side from here. So it's going to be 7'8", and it's 13'8" down. Now this wall isn't going to go all the way through to the second floor. Okay, we don't have that many walls on the first floor, so that's nice. But so 7'8", 13'8". Let's reduce this and let's go ahead and add that. So we're going to go back over here to architecture, wall architectural. Okay, basic generic wall, 6 inches. Except this time we're going to say the height is going to be up to level 2. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just kind of eyeball this placement. It's 7'8", but our walls are 6 inches. So if that's the case, then we need to have this be, if you want to pull this up, it's going to need to be about 7'4". So let's just go ahead and go with the 7'6". Actually, that should be 13'8". I apologize. And in this case, it doesn't really matter that much. So let's go 7 spacebar 8. Is how we're going to do that, and then enter. Okay. All right, now we're going to move this. So we're going to take these witness lines and move them to where we want them to be, and this should read 13 spacebar 8, and that's 13'8". Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to measure actually this. And we're going to move this. So what I did, okay, we don't actually know that measurement. Let's go ahead and click on this one. Okay, let's click on this line and we'll just move the witness lines for this. And see what that says. Okay, that's giving us 7'11". So 7'8" plus 3 inches, which is half of 6 feet, because this is going to the middle, is 7'8". So that's correct. If we were to place a dimension right now, it would show that as being 7'8". Okay? So we're actually doing pretty good. Okay. So now we need to make a little room right here. So let's check the measurements for that little room. Okay, and this is saying that it's 8'11" and 7/16 inch. Well, isn't that just fun? But we're going to go ahead and go with that. Okay, and then this from here to here is 5 feet. So we'll start with this one, and then it's 8'11" and 7/16. So back to wall, and we're going to use that same one. Okay, now we're showing that we've got 5 feet, midpoint to midpoint, we need to add like 6 inches here to get the 5 feet. Okay, now we're going to pull this down, and according to this, it's 8 foot 11 and 7/16. So we want this to be obviously at a 90-degree angle. So again, 5 foot 6, you can get out of it by hitting escape. Okay, so now we're going to type in 8 space 11 dash 7/16. Okay, enter. Okay, that's not letting me do that. Let's just do a space there. There we go. Enter, and then pull it over here. All right, that's actually going to be a little big, this room. Okay, so let's move our witness lines to where it should be by clicking on our dots, and then just type in 5, enter. Okay, now click on this wall, and what we're going to do is move this to where it is right here, but move the witness line after we get it into the position. Is that making any sense at all? And check the measurement, 8 foot 11 and 7/16. Okay? All right, so walls are in place on the first floor. That's all we're doing right now is walls. All right, so let's go ahead and go up to level 2 by clicking on it. Okay? Now, interestingly, we can see where the walls are placed. I don't want to see that, so what we're going to do is go over here, and where it says underlay level 1, we're going to pull this down and click none and apply. Now I can't see anything, so it's like a fresh floor, which it actually is, even though you can see it. We're not going to be utilizing those first floor walls because none of them are load bearing, okay? Because it's a smaller rectangular structure. The only area we need walls in just 2 areas here. So let's just reduce this just a little bit so you can see. This wall is going to be 9 foot 9 away. It's 3 foot 9 and 15/32, and that is, I know, a strange measurement, but it's because of the stairs. It's just a stair casing to go around where the stairs are, okay? So 3 foot 9 and 15/32 is the width, and then the length of that is going to be 6 foot 1 and 7/16. Again, odd, but just to go around that little area where the stairs are. So but here's the interesting thing. We need to put this wall in first, and that wall is 15 foot 3 from the end. So let's do that. Okay, so wall, and we don't have any choice because it's just going to go up to the top there. Okay, and so our measurement out is 15/3. We do want finish face exterior on this. Let's go ahead with finish face exterior. Okay, so 15/3 is where we're going here. Let's just go at 15/6, pull it across, and then we'll move it as needed. Okay, so let's see what this says as far as the length of that wall. We've got too much space there, so let's go ahead and get it moved. Move our witness lines into place and change that to 15/3. Okay, now we can add the little stair housing area. Okay, so half of this is bedroom, half of this is closet and bath. It's not actually a bad space for a 1 bedroom. So this is going to be 9 foot 9 away, is where we're starting this, 6 foot 1 and 7/16, and then we'll have to position that afterwards. So this is what I would propose that we do to make this simple, because we've got a lot of funny measurements there. So 6 foot, we're going to be 9 foot 9. So we're going to move this out. Wall. Let's get close. Let's go to around 9 foot 6. And let's go 3 feet. And then this one we're going to go ahead and type in. Get this at the 90, okay? 6 foot 1 and 7/16. 6 space 1 space 7/16 and then enter. Okay, now we need to check the measurement here by selecting this. And this is actually far too small. We want 9'9" between there. So clicking here, 9 space 9, enter. Okay, and then the length of this we're going to have to extend again by changing this. So we're going to move this witness line. Actually, we're going to need to just type it in. Okay, so this should be 6'1" and 7/16 plus 3, so 6'4" and 7/16. So just change the 5 to a 6, okay, because we'll have to add that 3 inches on. Okay, so there that is. Now let's see our positioning here, because this is what's really, we also have to have this correctly done. Okay, so that's saying 3'6". What we really need is 3'9" and 15/32. Spacebar 15/32. Enter. So we've moved it out just a little bit, and that's now positioned correctly. We actually now have several more walls to place within our bathroom area, so let's sort of zoom in on those. Let's start here. This is going to be 3'8". That's the opening, actually. Oh, we do not have a depth there. Oh dear. Let's guesstimate that at being just 2'6". Okay, because actually I think it's going to be 2'9", but I'll give you the exact measurement. All right, it is in fact 2'9", so you'll want to add that to your so this dimension from this point to this point, inside of the wall to the outside of this wall, would be 2'9". Okay, so we need to add that, and then from here to here is 4'9". So let's go ahead and add this little space. Okay, 2'9" and 4'9" are the measurements we're concerned with. So go back to wall, and we'll make this approximate. Pull this out, 2 space 9, enter, and then click there. Okay, so just make sure your angles are right. Okay, move those witness lines, change the measurements, 4 space 9. Okay, and then let's check this one. And this one's right. Okay, so now we've got that. That's in place. Let's look over here. We're now going to be adding the closet. So that is going to be actually 8'7" out, and then we're just going to draw that across here. Okay, and this goes, by the way, in the middle of that space. So 8'7". Okay, and this is actually 4'10" from here to here. Okay, so we're at 8'7" from about here. We're just going to draw a line here and then bring it over and bring it down, and then we will adjust the measurements. So looking back, the measurement you don't have from here to here is 4'10". Okay, and this is 8'7" from here to there. So let's go back to our project. Okay, hit the escape button. We'll start with this one. Okay, now move the witness line to the appropriate location, and then change the measurement, 8 space 7. Okay, now let's click on this one, because remember, the one that moves is the one selected. That's really the important factor there. Change that to 4 space 10, and there we have our closet. Now we're going to put a wall right here in the middle, midpoint down, click. Okay, and we'll just move our witness lines around and make sure we have the same measurement on both sides, which we don't because it's selected. Here I can show you a little trick. Let's remove this wall really quickly. Okay, go back and add it again. Okay, so wall. Now location line, let's go to wall center line. Okay, so now we're centering the center line on the midpoint. Okay, so by changing that, I think that I'm going to get this to be exactly the same. I think. Let's see. Moving those witness lines around. The measurement is exactly the same now, so we're good to go there. Okay, so now the room, which is, by the way, this is where the little toilet goes. We need to have this be 3'6" outside to inside. Okay, so basically that inside measurement is going to be 3 feet wide. Okay, we'll just draw the wall. Now remember, we changed that to center line, so let's do it again. Let's go finish face interior on this one. And see what we come up with. I think this is still going to need to move, though, yes. But inside measurement should be 3 feet. So let's get that moved. Witness line moved so we can make that adjustment. 3. There we go. Okay. So now we have all of the walls for your project. At this point, you're going to need to save it. I want you to save it as File, Save As a project, okay? And then you can place this wherever you want, in a folder or whatever you want, but I want you to use your last name _ Revit _1, okay? So all of part 1 you're going to keep saving as 1, and then you'll save the next one as 2, etc. I want you to notice something. I've got this Revit 01.003.004. This is an auto save, okay? You can delete these once you know this is here and saved. Don't delete it until you're good, until you don't have anything to recover. So once you've saved something, it starts to auto save, and the auto saves give this .000 whatever, okay? So don't delete those until you're done with a certain section, and then you can delete any of those .000s for that particular one, so you don't have a lot of extra files floating around, okay? But keep in mind, if you send me something that's got a .004, but you've got one that comes after that, I'm not going to get the complete work. So that's why I'm suggesting that you go ahead and delete. So Star Revit 1, your last name obviously is not Star, but your last name _Revit 1. Okay, so that's been saved. And the next tutorial will go on talk about doors and windows.